Hi, welcome back to my channel. Listen, I have a question for you. Do you think that in order to become a successful freelancer that works online, travels, or earns a lot of money and has complete freedom, do you think that you need, for instance, a university degree? Or do you think that you need to be a native English speaker? Do you think that maybe you need experience or the right friends, the right networking circle to be able to be successful? Do you think that you need some crazy amazing skills, or you just need to be born in as an entrepreneur? If you answered yes to any of these things, I'm about to burst your bubble because none of that is true and I'm living proof. I've been working as a freelancer completely online since the beginning of 2019, and since then I've basically lived the best 2.5 years of my life. I lived in the most beautiful places of this world. I met the most amazing people and I worked on the most interesting projects. I started so many different projects actually. I've developed hobbies and I've experienced things I never imagined that I would be able to experience before. And the truth is that if I can do it, so can you. So I'm about to tell you my story and give you my personal tips of how you can be successful and you can achieve your goals, dreams, and desires without any of these things like a degree or the right friends or an entrepreneurial spirit or being super disciplined or super intelligent. So first of all, of course, working online is super freaking amazing because what it does, it gives you so much opportunity to grow and diversify the stream of income for yourself. And I think this is so important, especially as the economy is so unstable. So I started working online before COVID started, but what COVID did for me is it really reinforced the idea that I need an independent stream of income. So before I started working online, I just had a regular job in a clothing store. I didn't like this job because most of all, I didn't feel significant in any way. And I was constrained to this space. Like I had to be in that store every day between these certain hours and talk to the same people and do the same stuff every day. For me, this is literally personal hell. Okay, so the day came where I couldn't stand it anymore. The thing about my personality is I quit things very fast, okay? This is a disadvantage, especially because when challenges come and I feel uncomfortable, I want to quit. So the day came and I just quit my job. I didn't have any savings. I didn't have a backup plan. All I knew is I didn't want to spend a day longer in that store. Now, I didn't tell my family and I didn't tell anybody what happened because actually my family would have been pretty sick and tired of me by this point, because by this point I've quit university. I just broke up with a long-term partner to move back in with my mom. And now I've quit my job without a plan for anything else. So basically what I did is every day I left as if I was going to my job, but instead I went to the local Starbucks with my laptop looking for a different way. The only thing I knew is that I wanted to work online. I wanted to be able to make a lot of money,
to live a life that is free.
That was literally my only goal. And then I came across a video on YouTube of a guy talking about e-commerce because it's something that I was looking into at this point. And the guy said that to raise money for his e-commerce business, because I was broke, I didn't have any savings. So to even open an e-commerce store, I didn't have the money to sign up for things, no? So he talked about how he raised money for his e-commerce store by becoming a copywriter. So I read into copywriting because at this point I had no idea what it was. But I read into copywriting and I was kind of like, I think I can do this. It doesn't seem so hard and it seems like something easy to get into. So the reason I thought it was easy to get into is because he literally told the same story. That he didn't have any experience. He was super young, like 18, and he just started cold emailing and reaching out to businesses and asking them if he could write their copy. So I did the same thing as he did. I read the books he recommended and then I created some samples of my writing. I started looking for businesses to reach out to. And this is where I had a problem because I didn't really know how to research the businesses and how to find them and which ones to email and where to get their contact information from and who to email and who to address and how to follow up. So although that video pointed me in the right direction, it didn't explain things to me. And then I found that it was kind of difficult to find this information. So I had to develop my own personal system for getting clients. And that's what I did, and it worked really well, because literally the moment I started implementing it, within my first week I had a client, and that client was paying me £35 per hour. Now, to those of you that don't know, like, in my job I was making about £8 an hour. So I went from £8 an hour to £35 an hour. £35 is about $40. So I was freaking excited. I was like, oh my goodness, I'm doing this. And then from then on, I had the next client who was paying me to write content for them. And then I had another client who was paying me to write website copy for them. And another one, and another one, and another one, and another one. So the sales just kept rolling in. So when I realized that I have a lot more money than I've ever had before in my life, I didn't know what to do with it. Let me also mention this to you, that although I've worked since I was 16, I never knew how to manage my money, and I never made enough to really understand what it's like to have a lot of money. I was always in the mindset of being like, okay, I have this much, but for example, I cannot afford this, or I cannot afford that, or if I want this, I need to save. So to all of a sudden have this huge influx of money and realize that this is something that I can do as a stable source of income, my lifestyle just went from here to here. So the first thing I've decided to do is to leave England and start traveling. And since then, I've been traveling full time and working online. So I hope that by this you understand that even if you come from like a lower class family and you have no formal education and you don't really know what you're doing, so even if you don't speak the language well, you can learn it. That's not a problem. So now I'm ready to give you my top tips for making this work for you, whether you want to become a copywriter and you're learning with me, or whether you stumbled across this video and you just want to be a freelancer, work online, and you're looking for some additional knowledge and advice in this field, this will apply to you as well. So the first and most important thing is really believe it. And this is why I'm sharing my story, so you can understand that it's something that's super possible. So when you believe it, you act in a different way as opposed to if you don't believe it. So if you keep telling yourself it's not possible somewhere deep down, the actions you will be taking you towards that reality of, I don't believe it's possible, so I'm not gonna work as hard, I'm not gonna be as enthusiastic, I'm not gonna see the opportunities when they come my way, and you will end up living that reality of it's not possible. When you really believe it with your heart that it's possible, you will take yourself towards that reality. So when you really believe that something is possible, your mind basically aligns to that belief and your actions align to that belief. So if you keep telling yourself it's possible and you never doubt it, you will see the opportunities, you will be more enthusiastic, you will work that little bit harder, and this is what's going to make the difference for you. The second thing is you have to really walk by faith or walk with trust. So what I mean by this is that you understand that you will get what's best for you. For example, when I was about 18 years old, I tried trading. So I wanted to start trading on the Forex and whatever, because that was like my ideal online job, because I wouldn't have to interact with anybody. And I just thought, okay, I can just trade and make money. And lo and behold, I lost what was a big amount of money for me at the time. So basically now, from the perspective of time, I understand why I didn't succeed in that. Now I realize that I love to work with people, I love to work with clients, I love to be creative, I love to teach copywriting. So in the end, I really got what was the best for me, because if I succeeded at trading, I would have never looked at copywriting and I would have never been here filming this video, which is what makes me so happy. So you really have to walk by faith that even if you try something and you fail at it, it's not a punishment, it's not the end, it's just a way to move you in the right direction. It's just the way you're being aligned to what's the correct path for you and the best path for you, where you will be the happiest. So even if you think like I thought that trading for me was the perfect option because I would make millions of dollars and I wouldn't even have to say a word to anybody and I could just be my introverted self and just do what I want, in the end it was not, and it would never be the best option for me, because I had to discover this other part of myself that loves people and loves to help people and loves to bring value. The next step is put in the work. So what I mean by this is that you don't have to grind yourself to your grave and kill yourself over your business. That mentality doesn't serve you, because in the end, when you're not taking care of yourself, your business is not going to thrive and you're not going to succeed in any area of your life, because you will be basically going down a very slippery slope. So what you want to do instead is just make sure that you can dedicate consistent amounts of time to your business every day, or Monday to Friday, or whatever. Just make a routine and stick to it without questioning it, without procrastinating. Just do what you have to do and dedicate time to your own development and learning. So basically, for example, you could dedicate time every day to reading a book, or you could buy a course and actually commit to watching it for 30 minutes a day, or you could commit to watching a video on YouTube a day and implementing the advice from that. So the thing that I experienced that was the most difficult in this part, like putting in consistent work, is, like I said to you, I'm the kind of person that kind of tends to quit very easily, and at the same time there are things that make me procrastinate a lot. So in order to overcome that, what I really had to look into is my own psychology, right? So when you understand yourself as a person and you understand your own psychology, it's so much easier for you to navigate the complex world of psychology and habits and self-development, to bring in actions and bring in things in a way that makes it easier and more achievable for you. Because unfortunately, nobody is the same. We are all unique. So it's all about understanding yourself and what works for you. Okay, so the next thing is, don't let other people put fear into you and into your plans. So basically, the problem with other people putting fear into you is that they're simply projecting their own fear of failure onto you. And most of the time, they don't do it consciously, they don't do it on purpose, they don't do it to harm you, but they believe that they're doing you a favor by warning you or being the voice of reason. But the thing is, they're putting limits on you that don't belong on you. They are their own limits and their own fears that they need to deal with, and they don't need to be projected onto you. So in these cases, learn to differentiate between good advice and simply fear projections. And also be careful who you take advice from. If you see this person has never owned a business or done anything like this before, or they have no idea about entrepreneurship or any of the things that you aspire to, don't necessarily take their advice. Look for people that you aspire to give you advice. Now, the next tip I have to give is, when you start, be very open to your clients. Don't come from a feeling of desperation and feeling inferior to your clients, but come from the point of being a professional equal to your clients or your prospective clients, and that you're there to collaborate. So you're not there to serve them, you're there to collaborate on a project with them to help their business or whatever. Because if you come from the attitude of desperation and feeling inferior and being scared because you knew and you don't have experience, etc., this basically is something that you're then projecting onto your client, and they can pick up on it and they will treat you accordingly. So if they see that you're not confident, you're not experienced, they will start to doubt you, and if they start to doubt you when you deliver your work, they will undervalue your work, and then maybe they will not pay you on time, or they will not come back to you, etc. So make sure that you always come as your best version of yourself, and even if you don't have experience, like, feel good about it within yourself, that you know you will do your best, and that's all you need to do. You don't have to be scared, because always remember that your prospective client is just another person like you. They also have the same feelings, they experience the same fears, they probably go through the same stuff as you're going through in their own business. So just be very open to them and be yourself. Now, the last and probably the most important thing is to learn from every mistake. So the mistake most people make is, for instance, they fail at something, like something goes wrong, a project, or they hand in the work late, or they have a problem with the payment or whatever, and they never learn from it. They just assume it's like a punishment from the universe or from
all the gods of the heavens,
and they feel like it's something that happened to them, instead of seeing it as, okay, I made a mistake, or I failed, or this messed up. What happened? Why did it happen? How can I avoid it the next time? What is this teaching me? Because every mistake is an opportunity to learn. Let me repeat this. Every mistake is an opportunity to learn, but it's up to you whether you take this opportunity or not. So whenever something happens that you don't like, make sure you take it and you analyze it and understand why it happened and how you can not make the same mistake the next time. Okay, so just to sum up all that I've told you today, remember to really believe that it's possible, to trust that whatever happens will be the best option for you, to put in consistent work. Don't allow people to project their fear onto you. Be open to your clients and remember they're also people, and learn from every mistake. Now, if you've enjoyed this video, which I hope you have, and I hope you found it valuable, make sure to subscribe to the channel and all that good stuff. But most of all, click the link in the description of this video and sign up to my newsletter. My newsletter is going to be your commitment to making this happen. And of course, I provide so much freaking value in these emails that you'll go from 0 to 100 like this. So anyway, make sure to subscribe and make sure to sign up to the newsletter so we can stay in touch. So see you in the next video.